It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, it's Friday, and we're going to talk operating profit. Earlier this week, I shared some thoughts on Ricoh and Konica, my concerns about their low percentage of operating profit to their revenue. And we got the numbers for Sharp, Xerox, and Kyocera. I want to share those with you. Folks, the bottom line is without operating profit, all the things that the actors in the imaging channel aspire to do won't happen. They won't materialize. You got to be able to make money or it won't happen, right? We all know that. We also know that the document imaging channel is going to face its biggest disruption in its life. And that disruption is going to be a massive consolidation. And I don't think a lot of us are prepared for that, but we got to start getting prepared. And the other thing that the dealers and the resellers need to start doing is asking their OEMs tougher questions. And they need to start looking at their OEMs' financials. Hire an accounting firm to help you look at them if you want to. But start looking at these financials and asking the OEMs questions. Prepare yourself for the future that you want to go to. Not just some future that your OEM wants to drag you to and you might not show up with them. In other words, neither one of you might not show up to where you aspire to do. And that's not a dig on one OEM over the other. The reality of it is we're facing a huge disruption. We're facing massive consolidation. And we better damn sure start paying attention to the numbers because numbers don't lie and they're unemotional. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to recap our friends over at Konica, Minolta, and Ricoh. Real quick, Konica Minolta's top line number for the quarter was 229.9 billion yen, which translates to $2 billion US. Their operating profit was 3.1 billion yen, which translates to 28 million US dollars. That's a 1% operating profit. Our friends over at Ricoh had a 424.8 billion yen top line number, and that's 3.8 billion US dollars. Their operating profit was 5.6 billion yen, which translates to 50 million US dollars, or a 1.3% operating profit. So Konica, Minolta, Ricoh, 1 and 1.3% operating profit. That's not enough. They know that. They don't need me telling them that at the end of the day with Ray. So now I want to talk about Kyocera. Kyocera did a great job. I want to congratulate them. But you know what? I want these OEMs to be at 12-15% operating profit. But let's just talk about Kyocera. Kyocera's top line revenue was 420.7 billion yen, and 420.7 billion yen is 3.9 billion US dollars. Their operating profit was 32.3 billion yen, or 300 million US dollars, and that's 7.7% operating profit. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to get my Sharp interactive board working here because I need to circle that. I mean, we've seen some of the operating profits showing up, right? Kyocera, 7.7%. Congratulations, Kyocera. Like I said, I want you to get to 12 and 15%, but 7.7% seems to be pretty good when you look at what some of the others are coming in with. Let's talk about the part of Kyocera that's near and dear to the document imaging channel, because Kyocera is a big conglomerate. It's a document solutions unit, and the document solutions unit did 86.0 billion yen, and that's 779 million US dollars. The operating profit for that division was 6.6 billion yen. That translates to 60 million US dollars. Again, 7.7%. So 7.7%, that's pretty damn good, right? It's not perfect. They got some ways to go. But remember back when I was talking about Kyocera and Ricoh getting together, and I said that Kyocera should lead the charge, would be in charge of that entity when they came together? I'm basing that off the numbers. Because if you look at both Kyocera and Ricoh, and you go back in time, you're going to see that Kyocera does a much better job controlling costs and has a better operating profit. That's not a dig on Ricoh, it's just reality. Look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. And see, these are the things we got to be able to talk about, folks. We need to be able to talk about them openly. And we got to seek for improvement. We got to really start realizing what's going to happen in the future of the industry. You know? What's going to happen? What OEM is going to overtake the other OEM? It's about overtaking the other OEM. It's about competition getting fierce. It's about winners and losers in a declining marketplace. This is not going to be sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya. So congratulations, Kyocera. Keep up the good work. We'll see how Kyocera pans out as we go through the next year and a half. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about our friends over at Sharp. I did a video on Sharp. I talked about how Sharp's positioned perfectly for the future. I mean, you got to remember, more and more of the end users of the document imaging channel are going to leave the paper and they're going to start consuming information behind glass. They won't need the paper. And when they don't need the paper, and the more and more they don't need the paper, the better the position Sharp's in. And so when you think about Sharp and who owns Sharp, Foxconn's a huge conglomerate, a huge organization. They're getting into the electric vehicle business, right? They're huge. And so what does Foxconn do with Sharp? And what does Foxconn create for Sharp? There's a whole lot of things that position Sharp for a very, very interesting future. But if you look at Sharp's top line number for the quarter, it was 611.5 billion yen, and that equals 5.5 billion US dollars. Their operating profit was 18.3 billion yen, or 165.9 million. That's 3%. Ladies and gentlemen, 3% is not anything to get too damn excited about. But I'm more excited about Sharp's potential in the products outside of the print business, to be quite honest with you. Because obviously we're going to be printing for a while here, right? But if you look at Sharp's portfolio of products, I can see Sharp selling their products through the OEMs that remain. I can see Sharp selling their products through my friends at Xerox maybe one day, because they are the largest dealer in the world, right? So, you know, Sharp has an interesting future. And again, we're going to see how they pan out, you know, over the next 18 or 12 months. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me pull up our friends here at Xerox. Xerox, the one thing I like about Xerox, I don't have to translate billions of yens or trillions of yens. They did 1.79 billion US dollars, right? Their operating margin was 7.0%, which is 125.3 million on the 1.79 billion. So 7%, again, they deserve to get a circle around that number. So let me get my Sharp Interactive board working here. I want to circle Xerox's profit. So 7.0%, congratulations to our friends over at Xerox. You know, Xerox, the thing about Xerox, that whole $1.79 billion worth of business is stuff that resellers can deliver into the marketplace. So we don't know how this is all going to pan out. We don't know what OEMs Xerox will align with. I don't see them having to buy any OEMs or doing anything like they used to have to do when they were working with Fuji. I think that all the OEMs that are left are going to be begging Xerox to sell their products in the marketplace because they are the largest dealer in the world. But it'll be interesting to see how Xerox positions themselves going forward. That augmented reality product they have, Kyocera, you're going to hear more about that on the end of the day with Ray. Stay tuned Monday for that episode. But ladies and gentlemen, we can see Sharp Kyocera and Xerox come in at 7% operating profit. Our friends over at Sharp at 3% operating profit. You know, Sharp has a potential outside of print, so I'm giving them some leeway on the 3% operating profit. But we can tell our industry is definitely headed for a disruption. And we can also tell that there's definitely going to be folks that overtake other folks. The question is, how are you going to position yourself as a dealer or a reseller? You better start paying attention to the numbers, because numbers don't lie and they're unemotional. And everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.